In this video we carry on with the Tribser, doing the rear brake. This model has a disc brake on the back, which I am not that familiar with. I usually work on the earlier ones that have the drum. But we start as usual with cleaning up the parts. A lot of the parts are unplated and have surface rust, so a little dose of the wire wheel takes these back to a nice clean surface. And then a little rub with either oil, or sometimes I use beeswax just to try and keep the bare metal finish from rusting. Next, the engine plate is put into position and bolted up loosely. With this in place, I can now try and sort out the order in which these bits go in. I start off with the lever mechanism that comes through the engine plate to the brake pedal. This has a spacer, then the spring, and then it goes through the master cylinder plate and then through the actual engine mounting with a special bolt to pull it into place. With this all located, I thought it would be a simple case of just sliding in the master cylinder, putting on the brake pedal and connecting everything up. But no, at this point I realised that the lever I've put in is too far forward and is hitting the frame before it can go back to where the master cylinder is. So this is the first time I had to start again, taking off the engine plate and the master cylinder plate to locate the lever properly. So now, making sure that the lever is back behind the frame and can move freely on the pedal, I thought again, a simple case of bolting the master cylinder into place. And yes, it does fit, but you can't put the front bolt on to locate the lever on the master cylinder shaft. There's no room, there's no access, it just can't be done. So again, it all came off. And of course, at this point I drop a nut and can't find it. Now it's starting to annoy me and I'm getting frustrated. So at this point I decide, take it apart, go in, have a sandwich, have a rest and come back and try a bit later. Right, plan of action. The adjusting nut on the master cylinder spindle is pushed as far back as it possibly can. That allows the lever to move freely backwards and forwards. The spring is held tight against the master cylinder plate with a cable tie. And lastly, the top bolt of the master cylinder mounting is left out until it's in position, because there's a little tab on the frame that if you put it in place it fails and stops you getting it into the right position. After that everything fits nicely. Once it's all bolted up into place you can put the master cylinder on. If you remove the cap then the master cylinder will fit nicely between the mudguard and the side panel, so there's no need to take all that stuff out. And it's also a good opportunity to put the clip on first. Now all we need is a little bit of thread lock on the bolt and bolt everything into place. I must remember to get a new cap for this master cylinder reservoir. Someone's drilled a whacking great hole in the top of it. I don't know what for, but it looks very unsightly. Thankfully everything's in place so the brake pedal can go on. This just left the brake light switch to be fitted. So I cleaned out the powder coat from the frame with a tap. And bolted the little switch into position. A quick check then to make sure everything's nice and tight, and pinch up the engine plates. Thankfully, job finished. Just one of them days. Thanks for watching.